Hey everyone, Sandy here, weighing in. I just wanted to say, first and foremost, hello from inside. And I love you. And I know things are harder now. And I've been noticing a lot of the posts, different people weighing in, different jokes and memes and things that are going around, and the general sense is hopeful and a little frightened, possibly. So I wanted to address that and acknowledge the normalcy in that, and possibly offer some solutions or suggestions that, if you were interested, you could implement. So it's fucking scary. I mean, there's some scary statistics, and depending on where you're getting your information, which news outlet, some are more frightening than others, not necessarily because of the information, but the way it's delivered. It's also a readjustment, having everybody back in the house together all the time. So that's huge. I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely being triggered. I feel like my space is being infringed upon. I work at home, so when the kids are at school, I am doing my thing. I'm enjoying my peace and quiet. I'm self-care. I'm meditating. I'm yoga. I'm actually able to focus and be very productive when I work, and none of that is happening right now. So it's all on me, my triggers, my choices. I need to readjust, and I'm in that period right now. And I acknowledge that it is interesting and super triggering. So that's okay. Again, that's normal. I think when things change, when our routines are shifted, it's important just to acknowledge, maybe allow ourselves a little bit of time or space to grieve the peace and quiet that once was. Also, for me, my number one focus is my immune system. How is my immune system doing? And the immune systems of my immediate family. Because if we do contract the virus, then I would like to prepare my immune system to be in a place where my symptoms will not be as severe as if I was infirm or weakened or elderly. So I feel like in self-isolation, it's important to keep a few things in mind. And self-care is a huge part of that. Self-care, self-respect, self-love, and offering the space to your loved ones that you're isolating with to do the same, or maybe inspiring them to do the same. Self-care physically is important, but we also need to address the other parts of ourselves. So we have our physical self, which of course is diet, exercise, supplements, sleep is important. But we also have our emotional selves. How are we feeling? Are we checking in? Are we checking in with our family members? What are we being triggered by? And can we maybe take some time and space to sit with that and really see what's going on there? Mentally, what are we doing for our self-care? I mean, super easy to just zone out and watch a season and a half of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but that's not going to be necessarily the best for me mentally or physically. So are we spending some time with mental stimulation? even silly things like doing Sudoku, doing lots of reading. Reading is good. Puzzles, games, playing cards, nice social things to sort of keep our mental faculties in check. Knitting, I've been knitting, catching up on some knitting projects, which is feels very satisfying and productive. But we also have the social part of us, and what are we doing for our social self-care? I've been doing a lot of FaceTime, Facebook Messenger, Zoom meetings with friends and colleagues. So I still feel like I'm engaging and stimulating those parts of myself socially, emotionally, and even in my home business. Things are not getting left out or left behind. I think for me, an important part of my self-care is also spiritual, and that means many different things to many different people. I don't know if folks are still congregating, going to church, getting together with those groups, but for me, spiritual self-care looks like taking quiet time, super checking in with myself, being aware and responsible when I am being triggered and being reactive, maybe barking at the kids, maybe being unreasonable in certain moments, allowing that part of me, maybe the fear or the lack of control, to escalate my reactions to things. So yeah, depending on what that is for you, maybe just an acknowledgement that your spiritual self also needs nourishment at this time. The creative self. Oh gosh. I mean, now that we have the time to do these things, I'm sure all of us have something that's been on the shelf that we just haven't made the time for again. Puzzles, knitting, painting, creating music, whatever is that creative seed for you. This is the gift of time now. You have the time to water and nourish that seed